Tonight's big stories as thousands of jeepneys not making the December 31st PUV consolidation deadline. The LTFRB admits commuters will feel the effects of fewer PUVs but downplays a possible transport crisis next year.
The world population only grew less than 8% in 2023 to 8 billion by New Year's Day. Though the slowing population growth means more stability for the Philippines, the aging population is a concern for other nations.
Dragon sign or not, get ready to take down notes on attracting luck this 2024. We'll be speaking with Feng Shui consultant Jean Yu Chua later on.
Welcome to the show. I'm Danny Laurel.
I'm Angela Castro.
And I'm Riza Diaz.
Well, we are starting off the show with more updates on that PUV consolidation deadline. The LTFRB is standing by its earlier statement. There will be no transport crisis in 2024.
This is the agency's response to a warning by progressive groups of fewer PUVs on the road by next year, as many of them have supposedly refused to join cooperatives.
Now, in a press briefing, the LTFRB claimed that over 33% of jeepneys in Metro Manila have already consolidated. That translates to about 13,800 jeepneys under cooperatives. The agency also noted that there are about 317 routes with consolidated units. But what about those routes that have yet to be accommodated? Well, here's what the LTFRB had to say.
We can say that we could meet the public demand for public transport come January. We'd also like to emphasize na yun hong majority ng mga routes na hindi pa nagko-consolidate consist primarily of short distance routes kung saan meron din naman pong dumadaan na ibang modes of public transport or ibang galing sa ibang rota na dadaanan din itong mga short distance routes that can still cater to passengers in those areas.
Now, let's discuss this matter further with Transportation Undersecretary Timothy Batan. Good evening, Yusek, and welcome to the big story. Now, no transport crisis in 2024, but given that the number of consolidated jeepneys is not above 50%, at least how does the DOTR plan on ensuring that consumers will not be affected by this in the new year? Yusek.
Yes, good evening, Angela, Riza, and Danny. First of all, we would just like to note that in Metro Manila, while we have a relatively low level of consolidation for jeepneys, the public transport options, the universe of public transport options in Metro Manila consists of more than jeepneys. That includes buses, for example, which have a much higher level of consolidation at this time. Now, that notwithstanding, there are measures that our LTFRB is putting in place to make sure that for some of the routes where there might be insufficient number of jeepneys, we are going to issue special permits for other consolidated operators in order to fill in whatever gap there may be come January of next year.
Sir, can you clarify these special permits? Because we reported that non-consolidated jeepneys cannot actually apply for those special permits.
That's correct. The deadline for consolidation is on December 31. And if our jeepney drivers and operators fail to file their application for consolidation by December 31, then they can no longer do so come January 2024. So what we are planning to do is that in January 2024, if, for example, certain routes turn out to have insufficient number of jeepney units, then what the LTFRB will be doing is to look for consolidated operators either adjacent or nearby the affected routes and issue special permits to them so that they can extend their operations in the routes with insufficient consolidated operators.
Sir, and you assure the commuting public that that would be sufficient if we do not allow the non-consolidated jeepneys, which is still the majority, no? More than 50%
Yes.
at least. They're not allowed to ply these special routes.
They're not allowed to ply their existing routes. Now, one of the things that were clarified by the LTFRB and the Office of Transport Operatives in the press conference that was held this morning is that for the routes where the number of consolidated units is less than 60%, or for those routes that do not have any consolidated operators at all, the unconsolidated operators in those routes can continue operating up to January 31 of 2024 only. So there is a 1 month reprieve that is being given to these unconsolidated operators, during which time the LTFRB will be working on issuing special permits to consolidated operators to extend their operations to those routes with insufficient units.
Yusek, it's a couple of days before, the new year. Are we getting more applications for consolidation? And are we going to be open during the weekends, during the holidays, to accept more applications?
Yes, we have seen a surge of operators coming to the LTFRB and to the Office of Transport Cooperatives to catch the December 31 deadline. For instance, at the Office of Transport Cooperatives, between December 1 and December 29, 101 groups went to the Office of Transport Cooperatives, which is substantially more than the 65 groups that went to the OTC for January to November of 2023. So the experience at the LTFRB is similar, and we really are seeing a good number of operators and drivers trying to catch the deadline. And we think that this is happening because we were firm on the deadline. Because reminder perhaps to everyone is that this is already the sixth time that the deadline has been extended since June of 2020. And we have observed that potentially some of our driver operators may have procrastinated in the past to consolidate, to join the modernization program on the expectation that there will be more extensions down the line. So this time around, no less than our President Bongbong Marcos Jr. already said that there will be no more extension to the consolidation deadline, and our Secretary Bautista, has stood firm that this will be the case for the December 31 deadline.
Yusek, are you talking about when it comes to the growth of the application last minute? Is this only for NCR? Is this also happening across other regions?
What we are seeing is a surge in NCR because in other regions there is already a high level of consolidation. Nationwide, the percentage that we are seeing, that we have seen even at the end of November, was already at 70%. So 70% of units nationwide already belong to consolidated operators, and it's in NCR where we are trying to catch up. And this is the reason why we have been embarking on information campaigns, and the reason why we have been working with you, our media partners, to reach out to our jeepney drivers and operators to explain that this consolidation is something that is good not just for the passengers but also for them, and that there is nothing but there's everything but to gain in catching up with the December 31 deadline. By the way, there was a question earlier on whether there will be up to when the applications for consolidation can be filed. Our LTFRB and our Office of Transport Cooperatives will be open up to December 31. That's a Sunday, that's a holiday, that's New Year's Eve. And they will be open up to 5 p.m. on Sunday just to wait for the applications of the remaining unconsolidated operators that are trying to beat the deadline.
So I just want to ask this before we move on to another question, sir. Yes, alam po namin December 31 is the deadline of the consolidation. Let's say for example, meron pa po talagang gusto pa at hindi umabot. Pero yun nga po, nag-express ng intent to consolidate. Will they be allowed after December 31? Not anymore.
Based on the latest issuance of the LTFRB, if you miss the December 31 deadline, you can no longer consolidate or try to consolidate come January. Again, reminder, the requirements for consolidation have been substantially simplified. Only 3 documents are needed to be submitted to the LTFRB. That's your latest LTO registration. That's the certificate of registration of your cooperative or the corporation that you're joining. And number 3 is the attestation that you are joining this cooperative. And that's all you need. You just have to file the application with the LTFRB. You do not have to wait for the LTFRB to act on your application. And that will already enable you to continue operating come January 1 onwards.
Yusek Manibela, which is of course one of our biggest transport groups, has been very clear in saying that they're hoping that this 1-month extension for the so-called unconsolidated PUVs would lead to further discussions on whether consolidation is the only way to go, or if there are other ways to modernize jeepneys which they're willing to do without joining cooperatives. Your thoughts on that? Is there still a possibility for more discussions with transport groups?
Just to clarify, there is no general 1-month extension. If the route that you are plying has a consolidated operator, and that consolidated operator is able to deliver at least 60% of the required units for that route, then there's no extension of up to January 31.
Okay.
Only unconsolidated operators in routes that do not have a consolidated operator, or which may have a consolidated operator but do not have sufficient units, can operate up to January 31, but that's that. Because come February, the LTFRB would have already issued special permits to other consolidated operators in adjacent or nearby routes, hence replacing the unconsolidated operators by February. Now, on the question of whether there can be further discussion and dialogue, there always is. Again, this is already the 6th time that we have extended the deadline for consolidation. The first deadline was in June of 2020. It has been extended 6 times to December 31. And throughout that entire period from 2020, 2021, 2023, there have been numerous engagements, numerous dialogues with the concerned stakeholders, not only for us to explain the program, but also for us to hear the concerns of the affected stakeholders, and that has borne fruit because there have been several changes to the program that are intended, that are designed precisely to respond and to address the concerns that we have heard from the concerned stakeholders earlier on.
Yusek, what can the commuting public expect come January 2? Magbabalikan na po sa trabaho, yung sa eskwela. Handa po ba tayo kung sakaling magkulang ng masasakyan na pangpasaherong jeepney ang ating mga kababayan?
Yes, our LTFRB has been repeating that we do not expect any transport crisis, as some would put it, come January when everyone goes back to work. First of all of the major thoroughfares in Metro Manila already have consolidated operators. For those routes where there are no consolidated operators, the unconsolidated operators can continue operating up to January 31. And finally, we are also still implementing the same measures that we did during the 6 transport strikes, actually 7 transport strikes already since the beginning of this year, including, for example, our Libreng Sakay programs together with our local government units and the other partner agencies that we have, such as the MMDA.
Yusek, last question before we let you go. No? Can you explain to the commuting public how PUV consolidation would improve their lives?
PUV consolidation is a good thing for both passengers and for our drivers operators. First, for our passengers, it's helpful to compare it with the current or the past situation that we have where routes are operated by individual fragmented operators who compete with each other, who try to compete for passengers, who try to overtake with each other, resulting in the conditions in the road that we have seen in years past. In consolidation, the objective is for a route to be operated by one, two, or three consolidated, unified operators. So we're shifting from individualistic, fragmented, dog-eat-dog environment to a unified, consolidated operating environment so that, for example, we are able to deliver reliable schedules, reliable dispatching, making the travel planning, the travel of our commuters more predictable, more reliable. Now, this is good not only for our passengers, this is also good for our driver operators because with consolidation comes, for example, access to cheap financing, better access to government subsidies, and lower operating costs arising from the economies of scale that follows from a consolidated operating setup. So that's why we have been trying to clarify that this consolidation component, this is just step one of PUV modernization, is something that will be good not just for our passengers but also for our driver operators as well.
All right, on that note, thank you so much for joining us, DOTR Undersecretary Timothy Batan.
Now, after the break, we'll be taking a deep dive on the recent world population data after the U.S. Census Bureau reported that it grew by 75 million people over the past year. Is that good or bad? That and more when the big story returns. Stay with us.
You're watching The Big Story here on One News.
Now, 75 million people were added to the world population this year. That's according to the United States Census Bureau. That translates to a world population growth of below 1%. And by New Year's Day, January 1st, the global population is expected to stand at more than 8 billion. For the Philippines, the latest recorded population growth rate is at 1.6%. And based on this, the Commission on Population and Development says the country's population may reach 115 million by the end of the year. Though the Philippines is the 13th most populous country in the world, the CPD says our growth rate has begun to stabilize.
In fact, fertility rate in the Philippines declined as of 2022 according to the PSA. The total fertility rate of women aged 15 to 49 years old declined from 2.7 children per woman in 2017 to 1.9 children per woman in 2022. Now, this means the Philippines is below the replacement fertility level of 2.1 children per woman. This refers to the rate that or at which a population exactly replaces itself from one generation to the next. Now, PSA's 2022 data also showed 48% of Filipinas aged 15 to 49 want no more children, while 17.4% express intent to have children, but only later in life. Now, the CPD has earlier expressed that the fertility rate has an impact on the country's economic growth. They note that currently the working age population is becoming more dominant in figures compared to dependents, now which implies that the country has a chance of accelerating economic development.
Decline. There's a decline of the fertility here in the
Interesting,
Philippines.
no?
Interesting,
Yeah.
in 2022. And I guess you would see the result because of you will see the boost of family planning,
Right,
tapos
right.
giving out of birth controls
Yeah,
to different areas, especially in far-flung areas. Ever since the RH bill was passed, no?
Nagbabago na rin
interesting.
yung mindset. You know,
Oo,
ng-
but it's
ng
also
tao.
pandemic situation
Yeah.
globally.
Right.
Na that people stopped having children in pandemic. Very interesting. And then nag-change na
More and more women are, mas gusto nilang career
to have
muna.
careers. and
Aren't
afford
like
it.
other countries wanting for their women, or encouraging families to have more kids, like in Russia?
Or China. Well,
Gusto
China's
nila.
not doing that,
Remember
but
in
yeah.
North Korea, 'di ba? He was seen crying pa and asking the women in North Korea to bear more child.
Yes.
'Di ba?
We've also got in Europe, they give 1 to 2 years of maternity leave paid para lang.
Diba, if there's more people, then there's more laborers.
Yes.
Then that's,
Yes.
That's additional capital.
And
for-
humanity.
Exactly.
On the other point or on the other side of the fence, you will also worry because yun nga, this is will hamper economic stability of a
Yeah.
certain country or the world, no? And you will see also kasi in Italy, actually they're encouraging people kasi aging population
Yeah,
sila, they're
exactly.
encouraging
Hindi na
other
nare-replace.
nations, other people to, 'di ba, to live in their country. They would give out incentives pa, yung mga ganun.
Okay, World Population 2023 Year in Review. Some major headlines on, talking about population
there you
growth.
go.
India overtakes China as the world's most populous country, estimated at 1.4 billion
Wow.
people, greater than the entire population of Europe alone, which is 744 million, or the Americas, 1.4 billion. China, too, on that matter, has more than 1.4 billion people. While China's population is declining, India's continuously growing. Now, research notes that the fertility rate in India is higher than in China and in the United States, but it has declined rapidly, likewise in recent decades.
Then you've got, of course, Elon Musk, the
Uh-huh.
famous
Yes.
guy that says the only job of humans is to procreate.
Procreate.
Diba? Because nga, how are we going to continue our human race? He says that he tweeted or X'd, I don't know how you say it now, that population will collapse due to the low birth rates, but the UN says wala namang collapse in the population. But like you mentioned earlier, Angela, no, that India is looking to quickly overtake China in terms of economic growth because of their young population. And then China, of course, getting older and older and less people.
Exactly. But though the population growth is slowly declining, consumption
Ito
of
na.
pornographic material remains highest in the Philippines, at least on porn website, Pornhub.
So they're not procreating, they're watching na lang.
Well, the Philippines returns as the country with the highest average time spent on Pornhub in 2023. Filipinos spent some 11 minutes and 15 seconds per visit on the site. That's an increase of 16 seconds per visit compared to last year. The Philippines is followed by Japan at 11 minutes and 14 seconds and Egypt at 10 minutes and 48 seconds. The data gets more interesting. Here, I'll listen to this. With female users from the Philippines, also topping female viewership of Pornhub worldwide. Female viewers made up 58% of Philippines' viewership, marking an increase from 2022's 53%. Male viewers accounted for 42%. Apart from 2023, the country also topped the time spent per visit on Pornhub in 2017, 2018, and 2021.
So many things to unpack there. And to help us with those figures, we have with us on the program sex and relationship therapist and private conversations host, Doc Rica Cruz. Hi, Doc.
Hi, ladies. Good morning. Good evening. I'm sorry. Good
On our
evening.
side, good evening.
Good evening.
You know, I have so many questions. First of all,
Go.
no, let's take a step back. Is watching porn a good thing? And if so, you know, what is considered scientifically, naturally, normally good, and what is considered as too much porn or unhealthy? Give us, you know, the figures on that.
Okay. Before I answer that, I just want to chime into your conversation a while ago about the population growth, and then you segued into porn, right? Into Filipinos watching porn. And one major factor that I think it's really important for us to consider is the use of smartphones. Because when Filipinos started using smartphones, they stopped actually having sex.
Wow.
Because they have, their time is on their smartphones. And because there are smartphones and they stop having, sexual intercourse with other people, then they started having more sex with themselves.
Okay.
And because of that, they consumed more porn, right?
So interesting.
Now, to answer your question, when consuming porn is actually neutral. It's a tool. It's a tool. Porn is made for the sexual arousal of people. But when does it become unhealthy? There are different attributes to it, different factors. First off, who made the pornography? How was it made? How was it produced? Because there are a lot of like legal aspects into it, like child pornography, non-consensual pornography, revenge porn. So those things make the production of porn illegal and bad. I can say bad, morally wrong, right? But if you use porn for your sexual satisfaction and for the health of your relationships, then it becomes beneficial for you. Actually, there are studies that say using porn can help you become more comfortable with your sexual self, become more aware of your body, and you can have actually more pleasurable sexual experiences, more intense orgasms. So it's how you use it actually and how it's made that makes it either negative or positive.
But is there I don't know, time limit that should be imposed, or just to know whether it's too much consumption, especially if you have partners, no? It's like, as you mentioned, maybe it's healthy for them, but it makes you feel uncomfortable. How do you manage between that? Are you just supposed to accept that? Are you supposed to encourage it even? Or is there a limit that needs to be imposed? Give us more advice on that.
Okay. Then that becomes a relationship problem, not exactly a porn problem.
Okay.
Right? Are you following me?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then there's something that needs to be worked on in the relationship. Now, when you're talking about consumption and if there should be a time limit, we don't want to limit anything when it comes to sex. However, it's up to you. When you start having clinically, significant distress about watching porn, number two, it impairs your functioning, meaning you can't work anymore. Hindi ka na makapagtrabaho, diba? Wala ka nang ginagawa kundi manood lang ng porn. You don't get to do the regular things that you need to do. Minsan hindi ka na nakakaligo and stuff like that. Or you neglect your partner. Then that's a time that it becomes problematic.
Doc, you seen the numbers. Is this a surprise to you na Filipinos are chopping the charts not only this year, previous year, and Filipinas pa consume more than Filipino or male viewers here in our country? Are these numbers surprising? Are Filipinas more sexually liberated now? Nagbabago na ba rin talaga yung panahon?
And we're such a Catholic country,
Right.
diba? So
Given a very
how does-
traditional
yeah.
and very conservative
Bakit
pa rin
ganon?
yung culture.
Yeah, first off, it's not surprising, actually. Matagal na to. It's been, I think, 7 years, 6, 7 years that we've been topping the charts, the Pornhub charts, right? And even the stats for Filipinas na 58%, 53%, matagal na rin siya. Now, I want you to think about something. It says there that 58% of Filipinos who watch Pornhub, they're Filipinas. But what's the number one search term that Filipinos search when watching Pornhub? Think about it.
Well, according sa...
Nag-research.
No.
Because
I-
Istorya niya to.
No, Doc, kasi I checked dun sa Porn Insight nila. Most search daw is the PH lesbian category. So I was wondering,
In both male and
in both
female.
male and female. So I was wondering, ito na ba yung trend ngayon na mas aroused ang mga tao sa woman-to-woman action as compared to the traditional na babae sa lalaki?
Okay, most search trend is lesbian, and that's
lesbian
that's
category.
also not surprising, given that more women get aroused with affection, more emotional connection, and stuff like that. But for Filipinos, the term that they search for most is Pinice.
Okay.
So do you think the Filipinas are searching for Pinice, or would it be something else? I'm just making you think, right?
Ano
Right?
ulit?
So where can we attribute it? We can attribute it to sex work, actually.
Okay.
Not too sure I got that.
Nahilig silang
Wait
lahat.
lang.
So
Teka, anong oras
now,
na?
Wait
diba,
lang.
you take a step back. Take a step back and then think about it. Are Filipinos using Pornhub to be sexually aroused, or are Filipinos using Pornhub?
Oh, the users
work.
you mean are actually using the website to find people to pay them to be on Pornhub. Is that what
Or
you're saying?
they
Oo.
may be the ones on the site.
That's why they're using it. That is a great point. Okay, I wanted to go back to the question on when is it healthy. I have 2 sons, and Chesco just turned 10, and I'm really scared because at one point this is the reality, diba? He's going to be watching porn. Is there advice on that? When to introduce that to children? Is that even, a discussion that
How old
has
are
to be
they?
have? I have an 8 and 10-year-old.
Angela is a teenager.
Oh no!
Oh my!
We don't want to know what's going on their hands. And Risa has, another
Mine
boy
has
also.
a long way to
and
go,
a girl,
but-
yeah. So parang how do we treat as mothers for the kids? What do we do with that?
Okay, first off, around 8 to 10 years old, that's the time that they start watching porn from their friends. And they do that because they become curious about sex. They become curious about their bodies, and then they see, porn on the internet. It's very accessible now. So when they become curious, they start sharing it, they start watching it, and then they go down to that rabbit hole. Now, what can you do? At this stage, around 8, 9, 10 years old, you start talking to them about, the dangers of the internet, what they can see, and then talk to them about what porn is,
Right.
what pornography is, what it's actually made of, why it's made, how it's produced, when is it ethical, when is it unethical. And then when they have more understanding of these things, then their curiosity will subside, and they won't do it behind your back, that it becomes risky, right? But at around 16 years old, for sure, they have
na
something
lang
that they're
siya.
reading, they have something that they're watching. So it's better to educate them on what's ethical and what's not ethical. Also educate them that porn is not a source for sex education. And it's actually your responsibility to teach them about sex. And sex is not just about intercourse, it's the whole thing, right?
You're right.
Normalizing it, but at the same time putting barriers to what you mentioned, no, what could be child pornography, what could be very unsafe practices online, and trying to make that healthier for them, and na hindi sila mahiya na sabihin din sa atin, di ba, what's going on in their minds. Maraming salamat for joining us.
you,
That was,
Doc.
of course, sex and relationships therapist Doc Rica Cruz. And do watch Doc's show. That's on One News. It's called Private Convos on Long Conversations. That's Wednesday nights, right after the big story. And pausing for a quick break right after that. 2024 is the year of the wood dragon. We will talk about that as well as other Feng Shui advice for a prosperous new year with Feng Shui consultant Jean Yu Chua. Keep it here on One News.
You're still watching The Big Story here on One News.
We will be ushering in the year of the wood dragon in just a few days. So ready na ba kayong sumalo ng swerte, guys? Well, last-minute shopping for the round fruits and sticky delicacies continue as Filipinos prepare to welcome 2024. Business is booming as well for stores selling noisemakers and all kinds of lucky charms. We've also got peach-colored outfits being sold everywhere after that was announced as the color of the year.
Here to help us get more positive energy heading into the new year, we have Feng Shui consultant Jean Yu Chua. Good evening.
Hello, good evening everyone. Yeah.
It's good to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Unahin ko na ha. 2024 is the year of the wood dragon. Okay?
Yeah.
So, what should we expect?
So for the 2024 Wood Dragon, we can expect a big change because we are entering to a new age of Feng Shui. We call it the period 9. And this is a symbol for Phoenix. And it's also very beneficial to the female generation because you get the power, you get the success, and also the energy to rule or to manage in every decision making.
Women power.
Girl power.
Yeah, you have the female power. Yeah.
Alin po yung mga signs? Which signs are considered lucky? Let's say work-wise, business.
For the business or the money, we are good in, let's say, because if you say money or business is how they generate money, how they deal with businesses, no? So it's a rat, number one, and ox, tiger. And
Are
also,
good in, sorry, nilista ko yan. Money
yeah, money and business.
and business. Good for ox and rat.
Are
Okay.
those rat, ox, tiger, snake, horse, and also the pig. Because they are having the good star, positive star that can support them. Let's say for the rat, they have the wealth star. They're easily get into business connection. And for the horse, they have the nobleman star. So they can easily find the right person to work with them. And for the ox and tiger, because of the blessings of heaven star, they can easily attract good relationship of opportunity. And for the pig naman, because they have the fortune star, so it's easily also to get good business transactions or deals with people.
Okay, what about career? Iba pa ba yun?
Yeah, it's
From
different.
money.
Yeah.
Okay.
The career naman or the promotion luck is more about the people are specifically working in an office. They have their designation, they have their
Okay.
position to work on. They're looking for the promotion. Meron silang ladder to achieve. These are the animal sign that are good are the dragon, the sheep and monkey, ox and tiger.
Okay.
Because
Oh,
they
so,
have the
good.
promotion luck star.
I'm
That's
an
why they
ox.
can climb the promotion or the ladder easily to get to achieve the target goal. But they have to maintain good emotions, positive mindset, and also they have to embrace open-minded to new changes, to new ideas, and
Okay.
also to accept yung mga advices from the elders para to include to their, let's say, to improve their confidence and their performance.
Alright, so which signs naman face challenges this year? Yung mga mahihirapan talaga this 2024.
Because in the Feng Shui aspect kasi, we have the so-called the Grand Duke conflict or the Tai Sui conflict, no? These are the animal sign, the dragon, the dog, ox, sheep, and the rabbit. Yeah, because they call the direct conflict or the direct clashing with the yearly god
wooden
or the general energy of the year. So that's why these animal sign, you have to be very attentive on listening and observe before getting into actions, getting into decision making.
Right.
So, wag lang tayo maging super impulsive, especially on the management of cash flow, and to prevent any over budget or overspending energy.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But since the year 2024 is a wood dragon, there's also a positive star for everyone, the traveling luck star. So meaning you can anticipate or you can plan your money on where you're going to use it or you're going to utilize it para mas may beneficial. Yun. Hindi lang siya yung basta-basta na you invest on a wrong investment, then you lose the money.
Right.
Ayun. So you just need to be very careful.
Cautious. Jean, may phone-in question si Marie. Love daw. Sabihan mo daw yung love. Yung mga swerte daw sa love.
Yeah, for those animals are lucky in love or relationship, we have the rabbit, the rooster, pig, and dog, because they have the networking luck star. So if you see the love is more on about how you love yourself.
Okay.
Do not make yourself too overloaded on work, and you forget to help yourself and to love yourself, to make your indulge or you make pampering yourself and reward yourself. Yun. So kaya on loving yourself is one thing very important for 2024. At the same time, in relationship lock naman, if you want to go into a relationship, and you have to be very careful and at the same time very ready. Hindi lang siya basta because I love, because I like, because na in-advise lang ako na swerte ako for love this year. That's why I'm trying. But no, you have to be very careful because this 2024, there's also we call infidelity star. That's why you have to be very careful on that star because people are easily get into quarrels or misunderstanding or miscommunication. Kaya very careful tayo sa mga ganitong issues. Okay? Kaya sometimes your good friends or close friends may become your competitors. Kaya you have to be very careful on that.
Okay. Jean, give us specific tips how to attract good luck.
For that, okay.
Go. Good luck. We need it.
Oo nga.
Apart from, of course, this
Kunyari, in New Year ba,
this
mag-red
circus,
kami.
Yeah.
Is red a
But also
nice
for the
color to
rest of the
wear?
year.
Ganyan.
And
Okay,
for the
okay.
rest of the year.
So for 2024, actually the lucky color of the year is based on the element. So since the wood dragon, the element is earth, no? So we can use the red color to attract the passion, the energy, the vitality, and to attract good luck. For every animal sign. Actually, you can wear it red for the whole year.
Oh, I love red.
And red is a
Signal
symbolism of power.
Okay.
Yeah, you can easily attract good fortune for that. Okay. Kaya sometimes if you're down, if your energy is reducing, you easily feel tired, ganon. You can wear red to have the therapy.
Boost the energy.
To boost your energy.
Interesting.
Yes. And the second lucky color is the yellow. If you
Okay.
want to boost up your stability,
Yan.
good relationship, and good connection, you can wear yellow. Yellow is to attract that kind
Happy
of benefit or that kind of energy. And the third one is the blue color. If you want to boost up your wealth and money.
Tayo dun sa color.
Specific. Meron bang bad colors
Yun
this
nga eh.
year?
So far, ang bad color, wala
Should we
naman
avoid?
for my practice
Wala.
as Feng Shui. Every color is lucky as long as you feel happy on that color.
Jean, my mom loves buying those, yung mga parang mga stones and gems and charms
Yes,
that
yes.
could help attract
Yes,
luck.
yes, yes.
Can you give us tips on that?
Yeah, for 2024, there are also some lucky charms that you can enhance now. You can put it under certain direction of your home to attract, let's say, wealth. So the wealth direction for this 2024 is the north sector. So you can put water features. Then the crystals, you can put it on the southwest to enhance the prosperity luck. Okay. And also the northwest, if you want to attract good network, you can put the four friends figures on the northwest sector. And also you can put the fireball on the center of the house as a centerpiece. You can also put a dragon image para to attract the good fortune of the dragon. Yun. So these are all that you need to do on your home or your office para to attract good fortunes. And at the same time, if you practice Feng Shui, kasi it's about energy. If your home are clean and nice well lighted ganon, and maganda yung mga furniture ganon,
Arrangement,
then
ganyan.
you can attract good fortunes.
Ito maganda ba yung pagka-arrange na ano?
Gusto
Ng TBS sofa?
How would you rearrange the set of TBS
Yeah,
if you want to
Yeah.
attract good
Basta
for
make
the show?
sure, Yes. Make sure 2024 you have to have a dragon image on your centerpiece.
Wag pala to.
Dragon image, not dragon
And
attitude.
specific, you can have 9 dragon
Nine
hanging charm. Hang it on the main door para to attract the vitality energy of the dragon. Because you have to keep your space spacious, especially on the entrance. Para the flow of the energy can spread all over the house. Actually, then you can also put an image of Phoenix since it's the age of 9. So Phoenix is also beneficial to the mother of the family.
really taking.
So that you can have the power and energy.
Ayun. Pero ito, question ng marami, of course, is 2024 good for the Philippines?
For in general, because we have to look on the aspect, no? Because Philippines is a year of the dog. So since this year is the year of the dragon, so somehow we can feel a little challenge.
So how do you mean the Philippines is the year of the dog?
It
Bakit
is the
ganun?
start of the Independence Day.
Talaga?
Yeah.
So mayroong sign din
May-
si
may mga
Philippines dog
specific
pala.
birthday
sarili.
nila. Then,
Lahat
and-
ng countries may ganun.
Yeah, Latin countries. But it depends on how you base on the
Wait,
the bazu nila and the birthday ng every country.
Amazing.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
At the same time, kino-consider din namin kung saan direction sila nakaposition in the world map. Let's say the Philippines I think is more or less in the southeast sector. So kung southeast kasi this year is having the illness star, so somehow people living in the Philippines may have emotional instability and sometimes easily attracted into negative thoughts or negative thinking. That's why my advice is for this year, you have to stay positive mindset and to prevent any arguments or any issues not related to you. Please don't involve yourself on that.
Si President BBM, ano yung ano niya?
I think President BBM is a rooster. And since 2024 is a good dragon, and rooster is a secret friend of the dragon. So it may have a good improvement
year.
in terms of the skills and performance of the president. At the same time, good connection with people.
Right. So, Chinese New Year is February 10.
Yes.
But, as early as pagpasok ng 2024, pwede na natin gawin to. Like,
Yes,
all
yes.
these practices.
Because the energy is starting changing, even starting shifting the energy starting January, going to the February. Because you have the preparation time
Right.
for you to get ready for a new 2024.
Well, Jean, thank you for generously sharing with us all those
Marami akong
information. And
notes.
here's to prosperity for all of us. Maraming
Yeah.
salamat. That's Feng Shui consultant, Ms. Jean Yu Chua.
Yes.
Now, it's not just dismemberment and firecracker ingestion that we need to keep an eye on this new year. The health department also warns about hearing loss and drunk driving. Let's get more details on that. JC Cosico will be joining us tonight. JC.
Yes, Riza, that's right. The health department logged its first case of hearing loss due to firecrackers involving a 23-year-old woman from Central Luzon. Initial reports say the woman suffered this from a quitis that someone else lit.
Hindi namin alam exactly yung mechanism of injury, meaning kung paano nga ba sumabog yung quitis. But suffice it to say, ang alam namin at our level, central ng information, merong quitis na sa bahay sinindihan.
If you're curious to know how fireworks affect our sense of hearing, the DOH explains that when a firecracker goes off, it produces 140 to 150 decibels. That's more than twice the normal sound level. It's equivalent to the sound of an airplane taking off or a gunshot.
So imagine mo times 2 or more than times 2 pa ng normal na conversation natin. Since nagkaroon tayo ng continuous na exposure ng more than 70 decibels, or actually kahit isang exposure lang pero sobrang lakas ng intensity ng tunog, pwedeng masira yung mga cells na nasa loob ng tenga natin.
The hearing loss case from Central Luzon puts the number of fireworks injuries at the moment to 96. Apart from physical injuries, there's also trauma cases to watch out for, including those that result from drunk driving. The health department advises partygoers to have a designated driver or skip drinking altogether if they're driving. Riza, all hospitals in the country are now under code white alert status in preparation for the influx of patients on New Year. Now, this will be up until January 4. Now, the DOH will be inspecting hospitals tomorrow to see their preparedness for 2024. Back to you.
Thank you, JC Cosico, and Happy New Year to you.
And that's the show tonight.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thank you and good night.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!